My name is Matt, and I'm a tattoo artist in St. Louis, Missouri. I've been tattooing for about 30 years now. And the reason I have succeeded this long is because of basic business principles. I do believe that the future of tattooing lies in the behavior of our clients as consumers. No longer the days of just be really good at tattooing and people will show up. It just doesn't work like that anymore. And I've been talking to a lot of friends, and what really inspired me to start helping tattoo artists was, well, number one, I love helping tattoo artists. I've been doing that the whole time, but to dig deep and try to write and document and talk about these things, it's because I don't want my friends to suffer anymore. I mean, I got friends that have been tattooing for 20 plus years, and they're talking about quitting. They're talking about, if it doesn't pick up, I'm done with tattooing. And that really breaks my heart because we have so many talented tattoo artists out there that have contributed so much to tattooing, but you know they don't have the little extra things that you got to put in place on your admin days to help their career become sustainable. I ask people, how long do you want to tattoo for? And if someone says, yeah, forever or 20 years, how are you going to do that? That's the question. And I started asking that question to myself about it's been about 20 years ago. I said, why would somebody travel past 10 shops to get tattooed by me? Now you have to remember, about 20 years ago is when I really first noticed this huge uptick in new shops and new artists coming along. I mean, when I started tattooing, I think there was 14 shops in our metro area, and that's whatever it was, a 38-40 mile radius. It's a pretty big area. And then all of a sudden, there was quite a bit. There was quite a few, the normal drive to come get tattooed by me. Now all of a sudden, people can drive by 2 shops, 4 shops, 5 shops. I don't even know what it is today, but 10 years ago, you could drive by shops. And I asked myself, why would somebody drive past all of them and get tattooed by me? I started asking bigger questions, like why would someone drive 3 hours to get tattooed by me, or why would someone get on a plane to get tattooed by me? And that kind of just put me on a journey to try to figure out how to raise the experience for clients. And I'm not talking about just having a good time and joking around and banter. I'm talking about the entire experience. What can I do to help clients out, to help them where they compare me to other tattoo artists and they go, well, Matt would never treat me that way, or Matt would have my drawing done on time. I don't know why I'm messing around with these other people. And when I talk about the client experience, what I mean is, how do people really shop? And there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet, and you can research this, but seriously, how do we shop? Anytime that we think about a large purchase, we have something called cognitive dissonance, and that means I want it, I'm afraid to get it. And so our clients have that. And so I want to talk a little bit about the acquisition phase. This is going to be broken down to the awareness phase, the consideration phase, and the commitment phase. Now, tattoo artists, we're pretty used to people just being ready for the commitment phase. Come to me when you want your next tattoo. Don't talk to me until you want a tattoo. Don't waste my time unless I'm going to tattoo you. And I believe that that's wrong. I believe that in this day and age, people just need a little bit more time. They need a little bit more help. And that's what we're really here for. The customer is the hero, and we're just there to guide them. So that being said, word of mouth is king. I'm not going to take that away from anyone. But word of mouth only works when there's a few things in place. When someone hears your name for the first time, it's what can they find out about you? How does that relate to them? Do they think you're a good fit? Will they reach out to you, and is it easy? There's a couple different forms of word of mouth, and one is basically the unsolicited advice that maybe it's some type of a reward system where someone's out there throwing your name around because if they get 10 people to refer back from their throwing your name around, then they might get a free tattoo or something. It's monetized, it's incentivized is what it is. So it's hey, send me 10 people and I'll give you a free tattoo or $100 off your next tattoo. So what that person's doing is they're going around and they're they're talking to 100 people and they're just unsolicited advice. Hey, go get tattooed by my person. And that's like a 4% closure rate, meaning like 4 out of 100 are actually going to come back. Now, if it's credible, if it's a family member, a friend, a close friend, a coworker that you trust, the higher the trust level, the better the closure rate. So when they hear your name from, like, say, a trusted coworker who is recommending, you, the first time they hear your name, that is the beginning of the awareness phase. Okay, who is this person? Who is Matt Hodel? Well, they're going to research me, and they're going to look, they're going to Google me just like anything else. And they don't rush to come contact me. They believe it or not, when people are Googling me or you, they're trying to find reasons not to do business with you. It's not, they don't look you up and say like, oh yeah, that's great, I want to find more information about you. In fact, that cognitive dissonance in their head, that little survival instinct in their head that's trying to protect them, they're looking you up to figure out, like, I want to find dirt on this person to see if they're really the person for me. And when they don't find any, when they find things that are like, oh, this person's into hiking and I'm into hiking, this person's into motorcycles or whatever it is, the more I've put myself out there on the internet, not just tattooing, but my values, my beliefs, how I think, what type of person I am. You've heard people talk about your authentic self. And what this really means is whoever they meet online for the first time, and that is the first time they meet you is online, it has to match with the person they meet in person. So as they go through, you got to picture it like this. If 100 people hear your name, how many of them are going to get tattooed by you? So think of 100 people that have got to go through this like conveyor belt. Now, along the way, they're going to get distracted. When they're looking for you, if they can't figure out how to do business with you or find you while they're on this journey to figure out, who to get tattooed by, if there is a smoother ride, if there's an easier website, if there is someone who catches their eye because they can't find you, they're going to go do business with that person. So even though they start the journey with the word of mouth with your name, there's a chance that they fall off this journey somewhere. So what we want to do is make sure that we have a very comprehensive footprint online. That means our Instagram's up to par. That means our website works well. And any other backlinks to our website, like an interview we've done, any other activities we're into, any other companies we might do, merch that we might sell. It's always a good idea to like sell your merch on a different site than your web page because the SEO is going to pick up more than one site. SEO is search engine optimization. So, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and switch screens here really quick. So this is Jackpot, and I'll get back to that in a second. But just for fun, I'm just going to Google. Actually, let me do an incognito window. That way, maybe it'll be a little bit better as far as the results. So I'm just going to type in Matt Hodel and see what comes up. Now, there's more than one Matt Hodel in the world. But, just without even adding the tattoo to it, like that's not me. That's obviously not me. But if they were to see this and they even added one more like Matt Hodel Tattoo or Matt Hodel Tattoo St. Louis or anything like that, they're going to find a variety of things. The more they can look through, because that's what we do late at night. We just kind of, most all these photos are from me. Late night, we like to shop, whether it's like Zillow, we're thinking about a house we want to move into, we're thinking about a car we want to buy. I mean, I do that. If there's something I'm going to be making a large purchase on, I just sit there at night and I kind of like shop and imagine what it would be like. And your clients are doing that too. So here we can see I've got some interviews and some podcasts I've been in. So I've got quite a bit of, we're starting to fade off here a little bit, but there's still things. I've got quite a few things up on the internet that has taken a while to get there, but I've got quite a few things up on the internet that people can find so that they know what it's like to do business with me. Was that not paused? So as they're going through this whole entire, like, who are you? Should I do business with you? eventually they're going to want to figure out how to do business with you, and that's where we want to make sure we have like 3 easy steps. It has to be really simple. It has to be a form or whatever. And if you don't have these things in place, it's just going to be difficult for people to do business with you. Now, let's just kind of like look again. I'll go back to the monitor here, and let's just say, let's go back to the first page. It's pretty cool that I've got my SEO set up. So the very first thing is book a consultation. So that's pretty cool. You just click on these right here, fill out this form, and it tells you, fill out this form, we will set up your consultation, I will tattoo you. It's pretty straightforward. Now if you go to my like Instagram, I have one of my pinned things is I will tattoo you, here is how. It's not going to let me look at it without signing in, I guess. I'm going to do this. Okay, so, I will tattoo you, here is how. Click the link in my bio, fill out the contact form. It's pretty simple. If you don't have these basic things in place, if your thing says something like, only contact me on the full moon of the 3rd January, of 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'll be booked, whatever. If it has all these rules, people aren't going to book with you. And in fact, even when it comes to like the form that I had there that you can fill out, if they have to scroll to fill out your form, then it's just too long. Your form should be very, very simple. A lot of the information you're trying to collect on your form, I've seen a lot of very long forms out there. A lot of information you're trying to collect, you can collect that information with a phone call. If people, a long form doesn't actually get good clients. It just gets people who will fill out forms. So there's other ways to vet your clients rather than making them fill out these long forms. So that's kind of like, in a nutshell, what people are going through. And I say that I think there's a lot of money tied up because in this day and age, they don't want to get tattooed by a stinky, pot-smoking, 2 hours late for work, don't have a drawing tattoo artist. The days of like, I'll do what I want because this is a fun job, those are kind of over. Like the people doing that, they're making $20,000, $30,000 a year tattooing, and that's not, you could get a job at Starbucks and make more money than that, and with benefits. So if you're a decent tattoo artist and you have a good onboarding system, you talk to people nicely, you offer drawings ahead of time, you offer amenities that no one else is offering. Basically, look at and see how they're purchasing stuff right now. Like, think of the archetype. Think of the type of person you want to tattoo. Where do they shop at? Where do they get their clothes from? Where do they stay at night? I like to say, like, where do you like to sleep when you're traveling? Like, for instance, if I'm on a road trip, I'll actually drive another 50 miles to get to a nicer hotel than to stay at a crappy $59 a night hotel. And for me, I believe that the people who are spending $150 and above for a hotel room, I believe that experience that they have at those types of institutions or businesses, they expect that across the board from where they buy their cars, their clothes, when they get their hair done. They have a certain level of expectation that every other business is treating them that way. And when they come to tattooing and it's just like this, like, what do you want? This like hot topic attitude bullshit, they're like, I'm not doing business with this person. So they have this idea, they're just wanting to work with somebody and they can't find them. I truly believe like that if you can raise your expectation level so that, they're comparing how you do business to how they're accustomed to doing business, and anything below that's not worth their time. That's where I think, the future of tattooing is. Tattooing is a billions and billions and billions of dollar a year industry, so the idea that you can't capture some of that, I mean, think about it. Like, how many people do you really have to tattoo to make a good living? Like, how much do you actually have to make a month? And how many people does that mean you have to tattoo? So if you're competent, you've been tattooing especially you've been tattooing for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, it's time to start implementing some basic business practices And I think that tattoo artists just don't know how to, they innately or intuitively kind of know some business. I don't think they're dumb. I think tattoo artists are like figuring things out. But what I'm trying to do for people is, help them shorten that learning curve a little bit. I'm going to show you something really quick. So this is basically what I started. It's called the Jackpot Tattoo Community. This is the free version of the free account. You can see over here, you can log in or join. It's behind my, right here. You can log in or join. But this is what you get when it's free. So even the free section, there's going to be, plenty of things to look at and to dig into. Over here are all the things that are locked, and those come with different tiered sections. The way I have this set up is, even if, here's some business discussion, even if you're on the free section, I want you to be able to get as much information as possible. Now the tiered section, it kind of goes like, one tier is more for the concept, and that's kind of the free section. So you're going to be able to get on here and get the concepts down. Then the next tier is going to be more implementation. So you're going to have some more tools there to like implement the things we're learning. And then the next tier is going to be optimization. So you can see how other people are doing it. You can jump in the meetings and actually talk to different people around the country and see how they are implementing some of the ideas we've had over here. So again, I think there's a lot of good things over here on the side. And if you actually join, so let me go ahead and let me just go ahead and sign in really quick. So this is what happens when you unlock everything. There's a shop owner section. That is the highest tier. That's a great section because you get to meet with shop owners from all over the country. But you're going to get the recorded videos. You're going to be able to get into the events. We do about 3 to 5 events a week. And you can get into what I think is one of the most coolest things on here is just the recorded meetings. So you can come up here and find all the speakers that we've had. You can find out, like, for instance, maybe online management's your thing. And, again, I was just talking about the foundations of online presence. You can go in here. You can choose to actually watch the meeting. Where it is. You can choose to actually watch the meeting, or I make it really simple, and you can just read. And here's exactly what I was talking about. You can actually just read what the meeting was about, and I think it's really cool. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you so much for your time. Happy tattooing for sure.